What if the biggest battle of your life is not outside, but inside you? What if the reason you feel stuck, restless, or empty has nothing to do with money, relationships, or success, but with a quiet voice you've been ignoring for years? Most people spend their whole lives trying to change their world, but very few dare to change themselves. And that silent journey is where real transformation begins. Before we go deeper, if you believe in growing stronger from within, take a second to like this video and subscribe to Streams of Insight. This channel is for people who want real growth, not quick motivation. Now, let's begin. There was a man named Daniel. From the outside, his life looked fine. He had a stable job, a small apartment in a busy city, and a circle of friends he met every weekend. He smiled in pictures. He laughed at jokes. But at night, when the world became quiet, something inside him felt heavy. It wasn't sadness, exactly. It was more like a question, a quiet whisper asking, "Is this all?" Daniel tried to ignore it. He worked longer hours. He scrolled on his phone until midnight. He filled his schedule so he wouldn't have to sit alone with his thoughts. But the whisper didn't go away. In fact, the busier he became, the louder it felt. One evening, after a long day, Daniel sat in his car and didn't start the engine. He just stared ahead. No music, no phone, just silence. For the first time in years, he allowed himself to feel whatever was inside him. And what he felt surprised him. He felt tired. Not physically, spiritually. He realized he had built his life based on what others expected. Study this, work here, earn this much, act this way. He had followed every rule, but he had never asked himself what he truly wanted. That night was the beginning of his inner work. The next morning, nothing looked different. The same job, the same city, the same responsibilities. But Daniel made one small decision. He would spend 10 minutes each day in silence. No phone, no distractions. Just him and his thoughts. At first, it was uncomfortable. His mind jumped everywhere. Regrets from the past, worries about the future, embarrassing memories, unspoken anger. He almost quit. Quote, "It felt easier to stay distracted, but something inside told him to continue." Days turned into weeks. Slowly, Daniel began noticing patterns. He saw how often he reacted from fear, how he said yes when he wanted to say no, how he avoided difficult conversations. He wasn't a bad person, he was just unaware. Inner work didn't give him instant peace. It showed him truth, and truth can be uncomfortable. He started writing in a notebook. Every night, he asked himself simple questions. Why did I feel angry today? Why did that comment hurt me? What am I afraid of? At first, his answers were shallow, but over time, they became honest. He realized he feared rejection more than failure. That's why he tried to please everyone. He realized he chased approval because he never truly approved of himself. These were not easy discoveries. Some nights he felt emotional. Some nights he wanted to go back to his old life of distractions. But something powerful was happening. He was meeting himself for the first time. Months passed. Daniel didn't quit his job dramatically. He didn't move to the mountains. His outer life changed slowly, but inside, everything was shifting. He began setting boundaries. When he felt overwhelmed, he spoke up calmly. When friends made plans he didn't enjoy, he said no without guilt. He started reading books about awareness and growth. He exercised not to impress others, but to respect his body. The biggest change was this: he stopped running from silence. Silence became his teacher. In silence, he saw his ego. In silence, he saw his wounds. And in silence, he also discovered strength he didn't know he had. One day, a coworker criticized him in a meeting. Months earlier, Daniel would have taken it personally and replayed it all night. But this time, he listened calmly. He asked himself, "Is there truth in this?" He corrected what needed correction and let go of the rest. That moment showed him something powerful. Growth is not loud. It is quiet control. The silent journey of spiritual growth is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming aware. Aware of your thoughts. Aware of your triggers. Aware of your choices. Daniel understood that inner work is not a one-time event. It is daily. Some days he felt strong. Some days old habits returned. But instead of judging himself, he observed. He learned. He adjusted. Years later, people began noticing something different about him. They said he seemed calm under pressure. They said he had confidence. They asked him for advice. They thought something magical had happened. But there was no magic, only small daily decisions to face himself honestly. True spiritual growth is invisible. No one applauds you for controlling your anger. No one throws a party when you forgive someone silently. No one sees the battles you win inside your own mind. But those silent victories shape your entire life. Daniel realized something important. You cannot control everything around you. You cannot control how people treat you. You cannot control every outcome, but you can control how you respond. And that control begins within. The world will always be noisy. Social media will always compare. People will always have opinions. But if you do the inner work, you build a center inside you that no storm can shake. Now let me ask you something. When was the last time you sat in silence without distraction? When was the last time you asked yourself what you truly feel. If this story made you think about your own journey, write inner work in the comments. I read your thoughts, and your voice matters here.